So if you've been on Twitter in the last couple days and you're part of the GTA Online community, which of course you are, you're watching this video. I mean, come on, you're subscribed to this channel. But you've probably seen all of the outrage toward Rockstar Games because, rightfully so, they are making another stupid change to GTA Online. The change is that they are removing the Rockstar Editor from GTA 5 on PS4 and Xbox One. And I honestly don't see the reason for it. I actually went ahead, digged up my old Xbox One, the 2013 version, not the new fancy one, and logged in, updated everything, and played the game just to investigate why they would want to do this. It says that on February 20th, the Rockstar Editor will no longer be available in GTA 5 or GTA Online on the PS4 and Xbox One. So it's telling you all your clips will be deleted, everything's going to be removed. So save your films, edit your things, whatever, save your clips, export them to YouTube, do what you got to do, because in less than a month from now, you're going to lose access to them forever. But the newer versions, I guess the expanded enhanced versions and the PC version is completely fine. They're not losing the Rockstar Editor. It's only the old versions of the game on the PS4 and the Xbox One. Now, as you can see from the gameplay here, the game is not running too good in the Xbox One. It actually hasn't run good for years. If you drive in any sort of vehicle that's a little bit peppy or considered quick, the map doesn't load, you get frame rate drops, it's very choppy, it's almost unplayable. Same thing when you get into gunfights. God forbid someone uses an explosion around you, or your frame rate is just going to tank to the point where it's almost unplayable. And you really don't have a fair shot at fighting anyone if you're playing on these older, especially on like the older Xbox One, because your game just isn't running at a fast enough rate to keep up. It just freezes while you're playing. It's ridiculous. And you would think maybe they're removing the Rockstar Editor to fix this, but the Rockstar Editor doesn't really affect it. The Rockstar Editor isn't really taking up that much processing power of the Xbox One, because the way it works is the Rockstar Editor doesn't actually physically record the clip like it would if you use like a software on a computer or something, or you pull out your phone and record it and you have to use processing power for a camera to record. No. Instead, what it does is it literally just like records and writes down the movements in the game. So it'll write down, like, for instance, I'm driving this semi truck on the highway. There's 3 police cars behind me. My character is wearing this outfit. I made this movement at this time. You know, it doesn't, these clips don't take up much space at all. They're a couple megabytes at most. It doesn't take up a lot of processing power to save these little, it basically saves like a script. So that way the game can replay that script and you can edit it. You understand what I'm saying? That's why you're able to change camera angles and because it's not a physical recording like when you say Xbox record that. It's just recording the movements you made to replay them later, the same way the theater mode worked in like Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 and the older Call of Duties, and a lot of other games use this too. It's nothing new, and I don't think the reason they're removing it is what they claim. They say it's necessary to support ongoing updates to these games. I think the real reason why they're removing it is because GTA Online at this point is right at, on my Xbox One, it's right at 100 gigabytes. And as you guys know, a lot of consoles only have 500 gigabyte hard drives, and like 20 gigabytes, 30 gigabytes of that space or more is taken up by the software to run the console itself. So you're left with like 400 and something gigabytes of free space. And then you have games like Call of Duty that take up 150, or 2K that takes like 200 gigabytes of space. So you're constantly having to delete certain games and sacrifice certain games to download other ones. So I think what Rockstar's trying to do is to minimize that. They're trying to keep GTA 5 at 100 gigs, so you don't delete GTA 5 to install like the new 2K or something. And then when your friend says, hey, let's get on GTA 5. Oh, I can't, man. I gotta download it. It's 100 gigabytes. It's gonna take me 5 hours to download it. I can't get on. Because now they're losing players, and now they're losing money because you're not logging back in, you're not playing the updates, and you're not buying shark cards. I really do believe that's the reason why they're making this change, because the Rockstar Editor cannot take that much processing power. It really can't. The thing is, the game runs terribly, and I promise you, once they remove the Rockstar Editor, it's still gonna run terribly on these consoles. Honestly, I feel like what they're trying to do is they're trying to keep the game smaller so people don't delete it off their system, and they're also trying to push players to the newer consoles. So the players that really want the Rockstar Editor and these features and the HSW cars and stuff, it's like they're trying to push these players to get a PS5 or the Xbox Series X so they can play these newer versions of the game, because they're trying to get the players off the old ones. Because here's the thing, the older versions of GTA 5 on PS4 and Xbox One, I would argue and I would bet they have way more players than new versions. Think about it. How many of your friends have a PS5 or Xbox Series X? I guarantee you it's only a handful, but I guarantee you the rest of them probably have the older consoles and still play them. Like my Xbox One still works. 10 years later, it still works. I never had to update to a Series X. I still don't have one. And so Rockstar is trying to kind of push like the hardcore GTA community toward these newer versions. And they're trying to do the same thing for PC players too. Why do you think the PC version of GTA Online still hasn't gotten any of the expanded and enhanced updates like the HSW cars? It's not that our system can't handle it. It's the PC version. It's the most powerful version of the game possible. They just never added it because they want you to get the PS5 and Series X versions. They don't want you to play it on the PC or the Xbox One or the PS4. But they can't stop support for the PS4 and Xbox One because there's so many people, majority of players are still on those consoles, and those consoles still bring in a whole lot of money in shark card sales every time an update drops. So they literally cannot cut support off for them because they'll be cutting off too much revenue for their company. It's all a money thing. So if you ask me, they're removing the Rockstar Editor for two reasons. One, to try to push people to the newer versions of the game, and two, to try to keep the size of the game smaller, which I don't know exactly how much space it takes up, the Rockstar Editor, but I'm assuming it takes up a decent chunk. Either way, those are my theories. Those are my realistic theories. I promise you, February 20th, when they update the game and they remove these, it's still going to run terrible on both of these platforms. If it runs better and it doesn't run terrible, you can quote me on this video. You can quote me. I promise you it won't. And it's just so stupid because so many people use the Rockstar Editor. Like all these Snapmatic communities you have out there on Twitter and the Rockstar Editor that Rockstar constantly retweets and promotes. Like you'll see them constantly retweeting these Snapmatic artists that like constantly tag Rockstar and beg them for validation. And Rockstar will give it to them. They'll repost their corny little pictures of their characters in the sunset or whatever. And that thing is 90% of these pictures are taken with the Rockstar Editor. There's a Snapmatic feature in there. All of these Snapmatics could not be taken without the use of the Rockstar Editor. So now they're cutting off a big arm of the community that they constantly retweet and use to promote their game. You cannot make these beautiful Snapmatics without the Rockstar Editor. Now you're just stuck with your cell phone, like the Xbox 360 versions. We're going back in time now. The Snapmatic community is going back in time. Now they're forced to just use their phone, like the Xbox 360 version, or update to the newer versions. And it's just ironic that Rockstar uses these people, this community they've built, to promote their game constantly, and now they're completely cutting off that section of the community because they'll no longer be able to use the editor to make Snapmatics. I think that's just... It's ironic. I mean, the people that seek validation from Rockstar and that they're fanboys and think they're on your side, do you really think this is a good idea to remove the editor? Now you guys can't even make your Snapmatics? Stop seeking validation from companies. Stop thinking companies are looking out for your best interest. Do you remember the mobile, the what do you call it, the trilogy remaster just now? Do you think that was in your best interest? No, they're just out to make money. That's all they're trying to do. But you know what? Fanboys are gonna fanboy. I don't care. But that's my theory onto why they're removing the Rockstar Editor. Whoever tells you it's just to make the game play better and allow support for ongoing updates, that's a lie. That's not why they're removing it. But I'm sure there's gonna be some idiot in my comment section defending Rockstar for this because, you know, fanboys are gonna fanboy.